Welcome to SEOconspiracy.com. I really had a hard time picking up my top 10 news for this week. So much going on. But without any further ado, let's dive in. First, Wired.com on an article about cookies and journalism. Can killing cookies save journalism? A Dutch public broadcaster got rid of targeted digital ads and its revenues went up, way up. So this public broadcaster decided to change the name of the game, or I would say go back to the old way. Now, what do? When you bid on ads, you target certain user profile. And back in the days, you would buy an ad according to the content displayed on the page. A little bit like AdSense would do, actually. But what's very interesting is that this example shows that it's possible. Okay, it's just one example, but they went up something like 65%. And they also cut off the middleman because, these kind of companies can deal directly with advertisers, and contextual advertising, micro-targeting and all that stuff is fine, but maybe it's time also to think about alternatives, because protection of privacy is not a trend. It's definitely gonna be a fight between the ultra targeting, super profiling, and the protection of personal data. Who will win? I don't know. What I know is this is interesting, and it makes sense, because if you think about it, you are reading an article about a specific topic, and if there is relevant ad about the content instead of whatever is profiling you, maybe that would trigger some more clicks, because you are reading about something, so you are interested into that something, and next to that something there's an ad in relation with that thing you're reading about. So instead of profiling you with various techniques and retargeting or whatever, yeah, sure, it works, but I like this. Okay, let's move on. Next news on Gizmodo. Mods, Facebook's QAnon ban is too little too late. Could have also coupled that news with TikTok announcing that they really want to fight hate speech and all that stuff. My take on this, yes, of course, you gotta fight all the hate and whatever is negative. Is it possible to eliminate all of it? I doubt it. Is Facebook doing everything it can to fight it? That's the debate here. In my opinion, they are not trying hard enough. And since the big tech hearing, well, Google is certainly going all in, trying to show good faith and that they are trying to improve and fix whatever Congress might come up with to cut down the monopoly. Facebook, I don't know. I think the big tech hearing focused more on the Instagram bought out case, and this whole influence of political agendas on social media might not seem like the number one priority as far as the Congress. But we'll see. We'll wait for the report to come up. But certainly is always way too much hate on Facebook. It's insane. You can't go on that platform without finding some nasty stuff after like 3 minutes of reading. Too much. There's too much hate on Facebook, that's for sure. On Reddit, Actual Wizard reported a new Google search box autofill on desktop. So he took the example discovery objections cheat sheet. And if you do search it on Firefox, you will have on the side, actually I didn't try it on Chrome, probably works on Chrome as well, but on Firefox it does work. And on the side, you have a box with the people also search for, instead of having that box in the middle of the blue links. And you have a little magnifying glass, meaning if you click on that, it will search deeper for that keyword. Interesting feature, I think. Next, still on Reddit. Wanna be better than me? Posted that a site with 1,000+ pages received a site-wide thin content penalty. What do I do? And I answered here. First thing, he needs to crawl the site, and also maybe simply start with a site colon operator on Google, because he's saying that he thinks his content is legit. It's not copied, it's not duplicated, and none of the posts have a number of words below 500. Thin content is not about the number of words on a page. And I've treated many websites hit with penalties, like going back to Panda and even way before. Number of words have nothing to do with it. And even if you think that your content is unique, it is most definitely inspired, more or less strongly inspired, up to paraphrased from other sources. Everybody else is doing it. I'm not putting any guilt on that. But I wrote, thin content can be interpreted as too weak, too similar, not bringing value. And I put those words in quotes because quality of content is a relative notion. And the problem is that Google puts its own personal thresholds on whatever is quality. In real life, quality is compared to what? Taste, values, experience, culture, whatever. You might like something that I don't like. And quality is very relative. Now, you have Google, his rules, his search engines, whatever quality means for him, might not be what you think is deserves the stamp of quality. In short, whatever that means is that the website is judged as not being relevant for users. I'm sorry that person got hit by a penalty. I don't know the entire context. I don't know the website. But for sure, thin content might not equal to a number of words on a page. It's way beyond that. Next in the news, what the commoditization automatization, I don't even know what that means, of search engine technology with GPT-3 means for Google and SEO. That's from searchenginewatch.com. I reported the new version of GPT by OpenAI previously in the news. And I think I was a little bit too joyful because I was really impressed by the demos. I know GPT-2. I'm using it. It's very cool. It works. It's fine. And I really thought that the version 3 was going to be a huge leap forward. Well, in fact, I think it's just an evolution, not a revolution. And the way they are communicating about it, I feel like there's a lot more buzz than really anything crazy coming up. So GPT-3, OpenAI website, you can still subscribe to, enter your email to get access to the open beta. Then it will get very expensive. Or you can use GPT-2. It's on GitHub and try it out first before getting over your head and going crazy on GPT-3. Of course, I should have started with that. It's all about generating content automatically that could pass for content generated by a human being. So technology is advancing fast. I've been testing since 2004 how to generate content automatically, and for sure, it's getting better and better. Next in the news, grow.google/certificates. Google might be very well attempting to change the game and to put an end to the traditional education system. You probably know that in the US, college is very expensive. Students are in debt for years after they find a job. And the debate is, what's better, skills or degree? So degree versus skills, yes. Back in my days, the degree was mandatory. You had to go through college. Today, not so much. I think companies are looking for skills more than degrees. So that's actually very cheap, like compared to what like a regular college degree would be. I mean, still a bit expensive. And right now we have data analyst, project manager, UX designer, IT support specialist. So I also feel that those jobs are jobs that Google is looking for its own need. And that might be a program also to self-serve Google's needs for skilled people, regardless of if they have a degree or not. But for sure, this is something that I will keep my eye on, because I like when companies disrupt the establishment. And for sure, there's an establishment about higher education in the US and pretty much all over the world. Next in the news, myself, under my real name, not the SEO conspiracy hat, was honored to participate in the world famous SEMrushChat. It was about negative SEO, and I disclosed everything I knew about it. Most of what I know about negative SEO. And I will share a link to the thread where I give out my 4 main tactics that work in 2020. You are big boys, you are adults, you are responsible. I'm just giving out the information about negative SEO. Do whatever you want with it. it's for information only. And yeah, karma. Think about karma. Don't do to others what you don't want to be done to you. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be informed about how negative SEO works. And does it work? Yes, it does. Very well. Thank you. Next in the news, Chromium blog is telling us that highlighting great user experiences on the mobile web is moving forward. So fast page will be labeled in on a mobile device, and they're really putting an emphasis on making searches and browsing better on the mobile web. Yes, there is a lot to do to have a better experience on mobile. I think websites are still too much focus on the computer version of the browser. Well, I see the analytics don't lie. I see an increasing number of users coming through mobile, and people still building a website for the computer that they adapt to mobile. I think it's time to switch it around and develop websites for mobile that will adapt to the desktop. Last but not least, blog.google is telling us that finding jobs, recipes, and product will be easier. It's called activity cards. And again, it's on mobile. It's 100% based on profiling you, but in a good way, trying to help you. And it's a search feature that is only for you. Nobody else is seeing the same thing than you. And it's a carousel of products that are supposedly interesting for you. We'll see what that does. But for sure, I don't know about you, but coming from my days of where it was simple. We had a keyword on Google, we had a web page, we had a CTR, and that equaled to money. Now, the experience is much more complicated. The customer journey is way more diverse, and it takes a long time. And on mobile, the conversion rate is most definitely not the same. I don't have a magic solution. All I can say is I'm banging my head against the wall trying to figure out how to be more efficient on mobile as far as sales, as far as branding. If you follow what I do, how I try to integrate all the layers of the information tunnel, from the 60% information gathering to the 30% comparison layer, and finally to the 10% conversion and fidelization part of this information tunnel. I think we need to be everywhere. Multimedia is the name of the game. Integrating a strong semantic SEO layer within a global content marketing strategy, spicing it up with a little bit of off-site, proper, efficient black hat SEO is my way. It's the way to go. I call it the topical mesh. You can look it up on this channel, and I will definitely talk about it a lot more. All the links I mentioned in this news are to be found on SEOconspiracy.com. If you search for the post of the alternative search news for week 34 of 2020. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.